How are you doing? We've had a difficult time with the loss, with the fires and the loss of people's homes.
Yes.
Are you okay?
I mean, I am personally okay, and everybody in my family is okay, and
good.
My
Animals?
neighbors are okay.
Okay.
I did lose my home, unfortunately. Thank you. So it has been a bit of a scramble, but we're doing all right.
Is it true that it was your actual childhood home?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this story only gets worse the more that I tell it. When my parents were still together, we moved from Vancouver, which is where I was born, to this home in Southern California. I lived there, so all of my early childhood memories are in that house. And then my parents divorced, they sold it, and 18 years later, I bought it from the man who had bought it from my father in the divorce. Yeah.
What?
And then I've lived there on and off for the last 25 years.
Did you go back to intentionally look to buy it, or?
Well, so the story goes, I was in Topanga for a wedding of a young woman who I had known since I was a little kid, and she was getting married. And the day after, her big brother and I, who had spent that time together and grown up together, were walking on the field outside of the house, and he, God bless him, called up to Arnie, the owner, and said, "Oh, this is my friend's old house, it's cool, can we walk on the field?" And I looked up and I said, "I put that sticker there when I was a little kid." And Arnie said, "Oh, you mean in the dragon room?"
What?
Which is my childhood bedroom that had this beautiful hippie dragon painted on the wall for me when I was a kid. But when I was standing in front of the dragon, I said to him, "I can't believe this is still here. I just assumed it would have been painted over." And verbatim, he said to me, "I knew it meant a lot to somebody and that they were going to come back for it someday."
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then he sold me the house, and then all of life happened in it. Love, heartbreak, life, everything. But the last gift that house gave me was bringing my daughter home and laying her to sleep in my childhood bedroom under the dragon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have a similar kind of story. I had a car when I was in high school, and my mother sold it a long time ago, and it was a Mercedes, and it was red, and I was like a couple of years ago, I was in a Starbucks, and this kind of goth girl came up to me, and she goes, "Oh my God, I've got to show you something." Normally, when that happens, it's
not
like
a good thing.
They dressed as me for Halloween, or it's just like a picture of eyebrows.
Right.
But and so she's like, she shows me this, and she goes, "Oh my God, I was in Jersey City, and this car is for sale, and it has this postcard in it that says, 'Previously owned by Brooke Shields.'" And she looks at me and she goes, "Like, that's gonna make the car drive any better." And I was like, I couldn't tell if she was insulting me or not, but I said, "Oh, can I look at that?" And in the window was a sticker
that you put there.
I had put on in high school because I had gone to Stad. And I said, "Can I just see that?" And it was my car.
And?
I bought it back.
Hey, that's amazing.
And my daughter's driving it at university.
Really?
Yeah, she's driving
so cool.
it.
I love that story.
Well, we could talk forever, but we have to do a little commercial first. So we've got somebody in the audience who is going to help us do said commercial.
Excellent.
Hi, Brooke and Joshua. I'm Jen. Joshua, I'm a huge fan of your show. Actually, I'm a huge fan of all things cruising. I cruised for my honeymoon. I've cruised with my friends. I've even cruised with boy bands. Woo! Stay here. Brooke's cruising to more with Joshua right after this. We are back with Joshua Jackson. That was a look at his show, Dr. Odyssey, and you can see it on ABC and Hulu. The show is called Dr. Odyssey, and can you tell us a little bit about what it's about?
Well, it is about Dr. Odyssey. So it is about Max Bankman, who at the beginning of the season chooses to make a complete change in his life. He's been a high-flying career track doctor, and he decides he's going to pull the ripcord and go live a little and be on the Odyssey, this beautiful, luxurious cruise ship. But what it's really about is just it's a playground for Ryan Murphy's imagination. So we have this beautiful place, and we are one of his happy shows. You know, he runs the gamut. Not all of them are happy shows. Mm-hmm. And everybody's well dressed, and it looks beautiful, and we get, a new group of cruisers comes in every week. And I hope this isn't true in real life, because on our boat, people get sick in the most elaborate possible ways. And then we spend 42 minutes trying to fix them up and send them on their merry way.
Them.
Yeah.
But you're right, the whole universe does seem to be a Ryan Murphy universe.
Yes.
I just finished doing an episode on one of his other less happy
shows,
but
yeah.
in the middle, but not the gory,
full
not the
intensity,
full on.
yeah.
And it was intense anyway because there's so many cameras going all at the
Yeah.
same time, and you know the material is actually well written and kind of dense.
Well, that's for me. You know, before I even knew what we were getting into, I've wanted to work with Ryan just specifically because that writing. It's kind of throwback writing, particularly the dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, it's very fast-paced. It's meant to be quick. You pass the ball back and forth. And as an actor, I don't know, maybe not all actors, but for me, so much fun to be in a scene where it's just like pop, 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 pop.
And it just and the memorization too is something that is
Yeah,
just.
but that gets
you know,
less fun. I'm finding as I'm.
Well, especially because you've got all this medical jargon.
Yeah, the jargon
right?
is
so is,
not easy. So.
Now you have played a doctor before.
Yes.
Do you think you'd be a good doctor in real life, or?
I would be a terrible doctor in real life, and unfortunately, I'd be closer to Dr. Death, to Christopher Dunst.
Oh my God.
Because Christopher Dunst thought he was a great doctor, but really was not.
No.
Right? Max is a great doctor and can actually save you. I have just enough knowledge to be like, yeah, I could stitch that up, no problem.
You probably could. I heard you just recently got into boxing again.
Well, I box for fun.
Okay.
And then
Do you
last.
wear the head thing, or do you?
That's only for sparring.
Okay.
If someone's punching you back.
Okay.
So yes, when I'm sparring, absolutely wear all the protective gear. But
That's when I ask my husband for something. I put that on first.
Right.
I'm like, but
that's
it's
a
really
different
pretty.
thing. Blink twice if you're okay. But I got last summer. I worked on a movie called There's a New Karate Kid coming out.
Yay!
Yes. And the character that I'm playing is a boxer. So I went through like a mini training camp and did the whole thing, and yeah, they put me to work.
Isn't it fun when you kind of look back and think about how many different things that
Totally.
you've played? And we
Yeah.
were both young when we started.
Yeah.
And we get advice as we go along in our years. And did Emilio Estevez really give you some good advice when you were
Emilio
on
gave
Mighty
me
Ducks?
a ton of great advice. Oh my God.
Oh, look at you, look at baby.
Look at that sweet little baby girl
Look at that baby girl.
with his big bushy hair.
Oh gosh, almost.
So as you can see, I was quite young.
I'm sorry.
And you know, I kind of learned how to be on set from Emilio because I didn't know any of this stuff, right? I was just a child, and when we were shooting the second Mighty Ducks movie, we had this whole sequence where we were actually at the pond, the professional rink. There was about to be a professional team, and one day we had like 20,000 people. Literally, they filled the arena for us to play hockey. And as I was coming off, I don't know why, either I was just being a little or I was tired or whatever, but for some reason, I just there was a bunch of people waiting for autographs, and I just blew past them to go to the locker room. And Emilio pulled me to the side, and he's like, "Don't ever do that again." I was like, what do you mean? He's like, "Don't ever, ever do that again. Why do you think you get to go out there and skate in front of all these people? This is who keeps you employed. Do not ever forget who it is that you're here for."
It's just brilliant. My mom
Yeah.
used to say, every person is one person.
Yeah.
And that relationship, it's just between you and them, and you have to respect it. It does get overwhelming at times.
It does.
And when you start with one, then it's like this
Of course,
cascading.
and
but
within reason, but it was a really important reframing for my 15-year-old self of like, just remember who you are and what's actually important.
And you took it in, which is a huge testament to you as a person. So we have to take another break.
Okay.
But
Thank God I'm exhausted.
I'm sorry, I've exhausted him. I'm sorry. Josh's show is called Dr. Odyssey, and you can see it Thursdays on ABC, and you can see it anytime you want on Hulu.